Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate Prowler Only. Last time we slayed Valstrax and got ourselves into G4. This time we will not be doing anything related to the story, I guess you can call it a story. Instead we'll be going ahead and playing a bit of Beast Prowler since you wanted me to do that. I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying I am not going to go into the nitty gritty of Beast Prowler. It is not my preferred mode and I would not really give it a good rundown. I recommend you go ahead and go check out some other guides on that are a little more in depth and explain the mechanics. That way you'll understand some things that I'm talking about. I know how the weapon works, but it's a bit complicated. And ultimately what we'll be doing with the weapon uses maybe a portion of what the actual moveset entails. With that being said, you might notice that the game looks a tiny bit worse, runs a little bit choppier, and we have completely different cats. This is my personal save. And the reason we're on my personal save is this is where my beast cats are. I'd rather not make a whole entire new cat just to play it for a couple of episodes and then leave it behind. And since I do have a stockpile of cats on my main save, and some of them are very well detailed, I can very easily just grab one here and then show you how the weapon plays somewhat decently, not really decently. I think you know what I mean. I'll rate Beast Prowler is worst dual blades. Think about it like that. We're still going after element, and this is a little bit less of a professional episode, so don't expect, even though I'm not really that professional anyways, don't expect too much. But we're still an element weapon, so we're going to be going with element. We're going to select the Kushala Wand X. This is the G rank Kushala Deora weapon, having 195 melee, which is the stat we'll be using this time. 34 ice is pretty nice too. I don't believe we have element attack up. Actually, I believe we do. It just does not show on the weapon status. It'll show here on our little thing. Maybe not. Hold on. There it is. On our little thing there, it shows that we have 38 element. So we get +4 element, which is not amazing, but you know, it's better than nothing because we're using element. As for the particular skills on this beast cat, we'll have Release the Beast and Rousing Roar as our innate skills, Mega Boomerang, Claw Dance, Sumo Stop, Weapon Upgrade, Feline Comment, Soothing Roll, and Go Fight Win. I think personally this is a pretty decent all-around beast cat set. You can probably swap out Sumo Stop for something. I was just using it to test. It's not that great. It gives you iframes and does a little attack, but it ends up taking too long to actually feel decent, especially when you can just use Soothing Roll. Mega Boomerang we've used before, and you might be surprised to see it on a melee cat, but it is just nice to be able to throw out there if you do have enough bar and you don't really want to get close to the monster. Since we're not dealing with any adept iframes, we're going to have a tough time, especially against monsters that have very melee oriented movesets. So it will be nice to just have a good damage option at that range. Claw Dance, however, is a move we haven't used. This is a strong melee attack. The issue here is that unlike Mega Boomerang, which hovers without you having to be with it, Claw Dance is an attack that comes out as you use it. It'll make more sense when I actually use it later on, but it's very lengthy and it does do decent damage, but compared to Mega Boomerang, I just don't personally think it's as good. Again, Mega Boomerang, you can hover, and it's a lot easier to hit things with because you do just have that constant trajectory. Claw Dance has trouble because you're stuck pretty much in one spot. You can move it around a tiny bit, but other than that, you're pretty much at the mercy of the monster flailing around and hoping you hit most of the hits. The biggest hit is at the end of the combo. Again, you'll understand this a little bit more if you've used it before or whenever we see it later. So I'm not going to, again, go into too much detail here. Weapon upgrade's pretty nice. I've talked about it before. Gives you extra raw and affinity on your melee side. It costs a whopping 3 bars of gauge, and the reason I'm not going to have it equipped for the fight we're going to do is because we won't be getting that much gauge. But if you're getting plenty of gauge, go ahead and equip that instead of Feline Comment. Feline Comment is a 3-hit attack that launches you pretty far forward. The motion value for each hit is 20, totaling up to 60, which is pretty nice, especially since it's free under Go Fight Win, but not really worth it if you're just using it by itself. You don't get any iframes or anything like that. It's just a decent chaser tool, which you don't really want to spend any bar on. Soothing Roll is of course Soothing Roll, and Go Fight Win is of course Go Fight Win. Rousing Roar is a support move, if that makes any sense. Being once again free under Go Fight Win since it only costs 1, this will throw you into SP mode and give you anti-stun, as well as sharing any of your currently active buffs with your entire team, at the very least that's in the area. Of course, feline only buffs like Palico Rally will only share to your Palicos and other Prowlers that are in the area. While it might sound great to share all of your buffs, I believe the active timer on them is also shared too, so it's not amazing. It combos decently with Release the Beast, because every time you land the Beast finisher, you get an extra buff. I'll go into why the beast finishers aren't that great, at the very least from what I've seen and what I've experienced. But I do think I should mention that it does have some nice synergy with Rousing Roar, allowing you to share those buffs with your friends. On to skills, our currently equipped ones are Element Attack Up, Critical Up Small, Weakness Exploit, and Artful Dodger. Weakness Exploit is a DLC skill that was only released for Monster Hunter Double Cross, not for this game. Though there are certain ways to actually get Weakness Exploit, as you see I do have here. And this is an amazing skill. This adds 50% affinity to attacks that hit a weak spot, which is a hit zone of 45 or above. Really a shame that this was lost to the Monster Hunter Double Cross only DLC skills. There are a couple like Diva, which is called Dummy in the game, which you can give to your Palicos to extend their go fight win duration, or you can also use it yourself, but that's not really too commonly seen. Get this skill any way you can. Pretty much every cat uses it that's actually trying to be DPS focused. On our main save, we don't have this because I've been trying to do it without any DLC skills or anything like that. So that's why we're not using it there. But trust me, if we had the option, we would be using it. It is very good. Better than both Critical Up Large and Critical Up Small, just because you're aiming for weak spots anyways. Artful Dodger is another skill that we really haven't gone over. This increases the number of dodges you can do and increases your iframes. You get 4 steps with this, and I believe your iframes are maybe not doubled. I don't remember the exact numbers on it, but it makes it where dodging is a little more consistent. Still not as good as Adept, but it will do in a pinch. This also affects your beast backflips, adding an extra 1 to those, and I don't believe it might actually do it though. I don't believe it increases the iframes on the flips, but I'm probably wrong on that. Again, like I said before, this isn't very professional. Either way, with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and take our quest, which will just be re-hunting of Valstrax again, since we've already hunted him before. I think it's a good monster to air the grievances with Beast Prowler, as it does have some tricky things Beast Prowler has problems with, but it's also not completely terrible to hunt. Either way, I'll go ahead and see you in the hunt. All right, we already spawned with Valstrax. Your ability to actually do things here is going to be much different than Boomerang Prowlers. Usually, Boomerang Prowlers just kind of do the same thing the whole hunt, throwing boomerangs. But this time, you do not have your beast move set yet. You'll have to go through the building gauge process. If I can find my words, I apologize. I'm not going to be finding them very easily. Go ahead and just try to attack here and get up to 2 bars of gauge, and then I'll be able to hopefully show how this weapon works. All right, we're up to 2 bars of gauge. We'll go ahead and use the move once we get some downtime. Gripe number 1. This should not cost any bar gauge. They should allow you to use this for free because the mode is not that great. Gripe number 2, the actual transforming into Beast Prowler takes quite a while. And then on to gripe number 3, I'm going to show you what we're pretty much going to be doing the whole hunt. You're going to tap X while moving, press A while not moving, and repeat. There's also some combo links we can do with that, or with that kind of play style, and I'm going to try to be quiet here so I don't just immediately use a boomerang or an acorn. Goodness, I'm not going to find my words today. I apologize for that. Okay, we've got Soothing Roll now, so we'll go ahead and use that. And you have a whole nice moveset here that seems like it would be nice, but in reality, you're really just going to be comboing between your 2 double claw swipes. Valstrax is fixing to do a super here, and I'm going to talk about this really quickly. Beast has a combo system similar to Longsword, where if you finish a combo and hit that kind of final hit, which I will try to show off here, you'll get a buff and you'll go to level 1, and I think we'll be able to do this here. That's not an amazing damage combo, which you would think it would be because it takes quite a while to get through it, but it's not. Level 1 will give you Rock Steady. This might sound familiar to world players. It is not as good as the Rock Steady Mantle. Rock Steady Mantle would allow you to actually just, ignore most attacks other than like grabs, while, taking very minimal damage and letting you continue your attacks. Level 2, I believe, gives you 15% affinity. I believe that's it. And that's it. That sounds great, and that would normally be great if your finisher was really good. I mean, Longsword would absolutely love to get 15% affinity just for finishing its second combo. Here, it's just not going to be worth it. Again, if you look at speedruns and such, you'll see that maybe they go for the level 2, but a lot of the time they don't. And level 3, you don't even get it. You don't even get anything else. Again, I'm struggling for my words here. Fixing to lose Beast Prowler mode, which shows how short it actually lasts, which is unfortunate. Cage of the Beast is a backflip, which you'll do automatically once the timer runs out, or you can do it at any point. Has quite a few iframes on it, but you will be knocked out of beast mode. We'll go ahead and go back into beast mode. And another thing is that that really should just be permanent until you end it, at the very least, if we have to spend bar gauge on it at all. Either way, again, the best way to do this is just tap A and X together. Make sure you're moving on the X attack and not moving on the A attack, or else you'll start doing other moves. We'll go ahead and wait and try to explain that a little more once Valstrax does his thing. So moving X and then pressing X again, we'll do this triple slash. The triple slashes only have a motion value of 8 per slice. This double slash here has a motion value of 10 per slice, so that will be multiplied by 2, making it a 20 motion value. Not great, but it's better than a lot of your other attacks. The jumping A has 12 per slice, and that does 2 once again. Your element modifiers, I think on pretty much the whole weapon, are nerfed. And that's just because they're afraid of it being too good, I guess. But I don't even think if it had 1 multiplier, or a multiplier of 1, it would be too overpowered. We're going to do these backflips through these attacks here. Backflip is really nice, but it doesn't move you out of the way. You do not get a Superman dive like the hunters do. So if you really want that, you either have to cage the beast and then go back into beast mode, or use your soothing roll, which costs a bar gauge. Again, this is going to be a rant of just how Beast Prowler has a lot of potential, but they just kind of wasted it here, especially after nerfing Boomerang Prowler and pretty much all Prowlers in general. Go ahead and chase them on to the next area, and I will explain a little bit more in detail just why it's, a little disappointing. The motion values on the whole weapon are just very low, and including this beast mode, which you have to spend bar gauge for, it's just not up to snuff compared to your boomerang cats, which do better. Especially since you don't have any adept dodges anymore, and now you have to play really close. You don't get the reward of the gathering cat having insane damage, and you're really just playing with fire here against certain monsters. You really don't, play well against monsters that are very, again, melee oriented, like I said at the start. Valstrax is one of those. He's very high up, so it's kind of hard to hit your attacks, and your attacks feel weightless. So it's hard to kind of maneuver them around, and sometimes it feels like there's a bit of delay. That might just be my setup, but it just is very loose and not really grounded like the hunters are, or even the boomerang cats. Boomerang cats, you'll be firmly planted while you throw a boomerang, and you know exactly what's going to happen. Here, you can move it a little bit, and you'll always be running, so you can't really judge that very well, and your attacks always move you a little bit, making it hard to actually line things up. I've already lost Beast Cat again, so we'll go back into Release the Beast and try to maybe get a knockdown here. Our main goal is just going for the leg, since it's hard to reach the face, and, we can't aim upwards like we can with boomerangs. That will do that real quick. And we'll just, continue aiming for that. Once he's finished with this attack, we'll go maybe for a claw swipe. Again, just very unwieldy. Actually trying to aim that. You have to get in the rhythm of it, and since I'm talking here, I can't really focus as much. Wait for him to finish that attack. We'll go for the back legs here. Not a good hit zone, but it's the best we can settle for before he attacks again. All right, tap X and then A. A combo you can do is with your backflips. If you tap X and do a backflip, you can immediately tap X again and cancel out some of those animations. Pretty nice, but it's, it's a little unwieldy. That's like I said before. You're wasting your dodge, so you don't have that at any point. You're actually, taking about the same time as you would just doing this. And the issue with the jumping thrust is that now you're in the air and you can't dodge until you reach the ground. That attack there Valstrax just did is also pretty difficult to dodge, even with the backflip, because it's a very tight hitbox or timing window. Again, I apologize. I'm not going to be talking very smartly here. Just keep attacking at this. Keep going here. You can do the same thing with your jumping thrusts. It's not thrust, you know what I mean. Just tap backflip and then do the jump. This feels better, but even then, you're still wasting your backflips and you're being thrown into the air. And a lot of times, and again, if they went into the aerial playstyle, that would have been great. Make it more like aerial dual blades, where it does, just feel like destructive force that can spin around and do things like that. But you're very limited on mobility. The best thing you can do if you're in a sticky situation is just soothing roll out, which right now it's free because we have Go Fight Win. But when it isn't free, you're having to waste a bar gauge of that, which you would rather spend on something like weapon upgrade or something like that. Gonna go ahead and wait here and maybe get our buffs off once again. We're fixing to lose Beast Prowler mode, so we'll just have to wait that out. Looking more at the item bar than I am at the actual monster. All right, and we'll try to go for this. That spin Valstrax does is also pretty difficult to avoid with the backflip because it has a elongated hitbox. So even if you dodge the first one, you can be hit by the come around attack. Here comes the spin. Just dodge, make sure that that's not gonna hit us. All right, and we'll try to go for a combo here. Tapping A will do a lunging forward attack, which can be charged. It just takes too long to actually charge it, and you don't have something like Boomerang Pro where you can make it faster. And even then, it wouldn't be that great. Did a dig here. I was afraid of Valstrax doing his super attack, but he did not do that there. And we will run on over there. I'll try to show off again Rousing Roar, and we'll get our buffs to show that off. Unfortunately, he did run away and start charging. The one thing Beast Prowler is good at when fighting Valstrax is getting those chest pops. It's really, really, really good for that for some reason. Keep going here, and it's decent at applying element. That's not a bad thing. And if your monster is playing very well with you, then it's not a bad weapon at all. You know, it's going to be about the same as a less experienced Boomerang Cat user, but that's really at its maximum. The unfortunate thing, and we did miss the timing on that there, like I was trying to say, it's just has a very low skill ceiling. And even if you, or I say skill ceiling, but your effective damage you can actually output is very low, even at the maximum playstyle you can use. Get hit by the spin there. And, you know, I'm not great with this, obviously. You can tell I'm getting hit a lot. But even against, like, you know, the deviants that the speedrunners will use it against, it's just not that great. I think the specific one is Red Helm Arzuros, if you can find that. It's a Japanese run, so it's kind of hard to search for. Be hit by that. But even at their very best, they're just kind of unwieldy. Again, they're very, very, very weird to use and feel. And, you know, boomerangs are one of the more grounded playstyles. You also have pure bombing, which is nice, and I'll probably go into that later when the time comes for it. I'll try to dodge that spin there, and unfortunately we spent the entire time just trying to dodge his attacks, which is another reason why that beast finisher is just, once again, not great. It takes so long to get to it, but by the time you actually do get to it, you're probably not going to get it off. Unfortunately there, I had the option of backflipping. I opted to maybe try to get out of the hitbox range because I'm just afraid of my timing being off there. If we get hit by Dragon Bot, we do lose our element, which is unfortunate, especially since this playstyle does go fully into element, but oh well. Little combo you can do to get into your finisher a little bit faster if Valstrax will cooperate here and quit jumping around. There's a poke into a spin. We'll go ahead and tap A into X. This will throw you into a backflip, and then you'll immediately be able to do your finisher. Not terrible. He did cooperate there, thankfully, but he's not really too commonly going to do that. All right. Couple of stabs. Go ahead and try to do that again. Another fun thing about Beast is that once you go into anger mode, your XA attack is also different. Wait for him to do this, and if you press XA out of neutral or after most attacks, you'll be able to do this little Ferris wheel type beast spin. I believe this has good motion values, especially if you're hitting most of your hits, and if you do it off of a ledge, you'll get a lot more airtime, which extends the actual length of the attack. So doing it like, you know, in a Nakarkos fight next to those ledges, I believe that place has ledges at the very least, or even in this zone, which has ledges. Very nice, and it's really good at applying element, which we're not doing here because we do have Dragon Blight. But that's the only one thing that Beast Cat really has good synergy with, and you don't get to use Furious like the fighter cats do to actually activate it and have it consistently. If it did, it'd be a much better weapon. There's a lot of things this weapon could have that would make it much better, but it just doesn't have it. And the way they have it now just makes it feel a little half-baked. Unfortunately, I'm just completely missing the timing on these backflips. I promise I'm a little better at this weapon. It's just you have to be very focused since you do not have your adept dodges. And, you know, since I'm talking here, it's a lot harder to deal with. All right, we'll go through that, and I'll focus a little more into actually playing the weapon correctly. I don't believe I have any of my buffs active anymore, and we're fixing to lose beast mode. Also, after a certain period of time of not landing any combo finishing moves, and even after your 3rd level where you land the actual complete finisher, until you reach level 3, you do not get the complete finisher. Your complete finisher deals some mounting damage. Not great, not terrible. It's nice that it's there, But after that, you really level up anymore. And if you don't level up for a certain period of time, your level will drop all the way back down to 1, which is not great. I believe you'll still be able to do the finisher, which is fine. Or I guess level 0 is technically what it is, since there is no 1 next to it. And you'll see Valstrax here is just being incredibly aggressive, and I can't really get him many hits off. Try to dodge that there. That is also another window that is incredibly tight, and if you miss it, you'll just get knocked back and applied with Dragon Blight, which you'll have to heal off with Soothing Roll. Again, this is a bit of a rant, but I do want to go over this because I've been labbing this weapon out for like the past 3 days, and I just have a lot of gripes with it. The one decent thing about your triple claw slashes is that you can dodge out of them at any moment and also just combo into something else that isn't an X attack. So what we'll try to do here is it'll usually do 3. We can combo into any A button attacks or go into our backflip. So that's a pretty nice thing, but a lot of the things that would be nice on it are just trumped by the low motion values and a very, very, very weightless moveset. He's throwing these down, so I'll try to combo here. And then we just lose beast mode. Okay, well, I probably still have rock steady, and you can see the little yellow running man there. That is what is rock steady. We'll wait for him to finish this here, so hopefully we can do something, and we'll do rousing roar. See, our cats do not have rock steady, and now they have anti-stun and rock steady. That is what rousing roar does. Not much, and it sounds great on paper, and it would be great, but the buffs you get are just not really worth it. Get up from that attack. Do have a cheap claw dance, which is nice. We'll maybe look for a chance to use that and just show it off. He's gonna blast there backwards. Okay, he's gonna do this, and we'll show this off. See, you do move a little bit, but once you're in the air, you can't move anymore, and it is a very static attack. Unlike the Mega Boomerang, which, you know, you've seen over the course of the series, has a chance to come back and hit, which is very nice and is very handy a lot of the times. This attack is only active while you're using it, and once you're done using it, it's pretty much wasted. So if you miss that, then you miss a lot of other things. I'll also show off Feline Comet here, which is pretty nice because we have it for right now. That is a 60 motion value move if you hit all 3 hits. You can sometimes only clip once and only get, you know, 20 motion value or 40 motion value, but for what you get for free, and it's a very fast move that can be used to even evade some attacks. It's not an iframe move, but it's a very fast move that moves you far. Keep going for the legs here, and we did get a knockdown there. Unfortunately, our support guys did return back to normal, so we're not going to be able to capitalize on that as much. See how massive the iframes are on the backflip, but sometimes they're still just not enough. All right, here comes the slam, so we'll be able to attack the feet and the head there, kind of. That is an unfortunate move that we did miss, and we're gonna get poked too. Going to stun. Hopefully not get hit again. There we go. Good. Here comes this. We'll just backflip it again. And we're already fixing around onto Beast Prowler. All right, here comes the flip. You can tell he's fixing a flip if he flares his ring, or flare. I keep using that word. He's very similar words sometimes, and I know that's confusing. But if he kind of just shows his wings off, that means he's fixing to do a flip. All right, we're in where Valstrax is sleeping, and another thing is that since your weapon is focused on many hits at once, you don't really have a good wake up. So just go ahead and charge a, you know, beast charge slash there. That's just your regular A button attack, and that's your best wake up, just without any bar gauge or anything like that. Of course, if you have bombs, use them, but Beast Prowlers don't really use bombs that much. Here comes a poke into another one. Go ahead and do a flip here. See what he does next. Okay, he's just doing some claw slams. And I really love the concept of beasts, like the double claws and, you know, the like enraged cat. That's a really, really, really cool, you know, idea. But the way they executed the moveset, which could be cool in and of itself, you know, it has a lot of promise there, but the way they executed it just really makes it feel bad. There's a claw slam there, or paw slam, not a claw slam. That's fine. We got 5 minutes left. We should be fine. Go ahead and keep poking the arms there. All right, there comes another one. Good. Keep going at this. We'll get poked, but that's fine. All right, and you know, I haven't been using as many Mega Boomerangs. If I had used more, that would have upped our damage quite a bit. But I've not really been having the bar gauge for that because I've been more focused on showing the weapon off as, you know, is. All right, keep going for the tail here. He's going to do his super. Still get blown back by it. That just shows how long of the off or the or how low the iframes are. Unfortunately, we did not get to dig in time. I knew that was a bit of a gamble. I'm not really worried about it. We're almost done anyways. And if we somehow lose, we've at least repelled him. Wait for this here. Good. Go ahead and flip out of beast mode. Release the beast once more. We'll look for a chance to throw a mega boomerang since we do have the bar for it. Wait and see if he's going to continue that. He is. Okay, now we can throw this out. Hopefully he doesn't just pull something else out immediately. He is aiming at our cats. Completely missed that mega boomerang. Yeah. Unfortunate, just AI there. Did get a knockdown though, so that's pretty good. Just do the regular flips and combos here. And sometimes it's better to just not do your flip and go ahead and just try to reorient your regular X attack. Here comes some slams. And we'll just try to keep comboing this into him there. Okay, he is doing this. If I can actually hit, yeah, I did not orient myself correctly. And there we go. We'll finish him off. Yeah, just not great. And just to show how difficult this is compared to a bombing cat with boomerangs, I'll go ahead and do a run on that real quick and just, you know, show how much of a difference it makes. And there we go. Not even 15 minutes for the bombing prowler with boomerangs. Again, complete night and day, and it is 10 times easier to use an adept cat than it is to use a beast cat. Even then, if you're wanting to use a non-adept cat, use gathering cats. They do even more damage than the bombing cats do if you do know how to pilot them correctly. And they're safer because they can play at range. They do take more damage, they have much less defense. But if you're really, you know, you really want to feel the weight behind your attacks, and Beast Prowler just doesn't have it. I'll go ahead and do another hunt with the Beast Prowler without, you know, commentating or anything like that. That way I can really put my full focus into it. And hopefully I can just really show you the difference between these two playstyles. It was also very close. If I can find quest info very quickly there. Looks like about 12 minutes this was, which is not terrible for a Valstrax time solo. So I'll see you with the Beast Cat completion. And there we go. Beast Prowler is completed. A little over 15 minutes there. Might not seem like much, but that amount of time that it took extra is quite a bit. And that was a really good run for Beast Prowler too. Only lost one acorn at the start, which was a bit of a rough start. But after that, we were hitting weak points and doing all sorts of things that we weren't doing before when I was actually talking. And still couldn't really be a mediocre boomerang prowler run. Again, I really wish this thing was better than it was because it has a lot of potential. And I really could see it being fun. Even if they had just upped the motion values a little bit and made the dodging a little bit more reliable, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of times where it feels like you can't do anything. Like even giving you a Superman dive or something for the cat would make this feel much better than it does in close quarter scenarios where you can't really time your dodge correctly. So yeah, there we go. Again, I really wish this weapon was just a lot better than it was. But either way, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a comment below and maybe even consider subscribing. Next time we'll be going ahead and taking on G4 quests. I hope to see you there. And until then, bye.